introducing our writers, can we introduce ourselves first? Is that all right? Just because we are filming this event, these guys need the mic for sound. So what we're going to do is use one mic for the guys on the Q&A and one mic for the audience. Is that all right with everyone in here?
I hope no one minds talking on the
passing
the
it
mic.
around.
But we're going to pass it around if that's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So the name that you'll see under Brix is Frances Llewellyn. I'm the one that wrote Brix. Frances isn't my name. It took me a lot of thinking, but I wrote under a pseudonym because even after having this for knowing I had this for 10 years, it's still really, really hard to kind of come out in front of people. So yeah, I'll tell you my real name now, if that's okay. Don't laugh. It's Lois Entwistle. So my first name's Lois, last name's Entwistle. It's a bit long. But yeah, I wrote Brix. And can I say what it was about? All right, yeah. That was about a time when I didn't know up from down. And you know, you hear, I thought it was wonderful how you used all the sounds, by the way, in this. I thought the use of sound was absolutely incredible because that kind of ringing in your ears and the kind of overwhelming nature of the sound is kind of what happens when things become too much and they stop making sense and everything on the outside just stopped. And after ages of not being able to write, which I love doing, of having to give up my study at university because I had a friend that passed away. She was the same as me, and for whatever reason, she didn't make it. That tiny little bit that you saw that they turned into a brilliant, brilliant song just popped out and took about 10 minutes. And I really want to just say thank you for seeing it and including it. I thought there was so much fantastic work here. I think it's really important that we're all heard. But thank you for taking that little bit, and well done to everybody that's here.
My name's Stevie. I wrote The Dark Warrior, and that was down to maybe holding a secret in for about 35 years. And I'd had enough of it, really. I'm diagnosed with a borderline personality disorder due to childhood trauma. But I just think there's not enough men out there that speak up enough to be honest about their emotions and their feelings. I read that poem in about 25 minutes because there was just so much anger, frustration, emotion. The idea was to get justice. It's not coming at this precise moment in time, but I've wrote a book about my life as well, hopefully, that helps people with mental health, addiction, child abuse, but I'm in a lot better place than what I was. But it's all about talking. It's all about expressing your feelings and emotions, and just because you're a man, deciding to hold them in. Because if I can give anyone advice, keeping a 35-year-old secret just destroyed me, slowly but surely. There's light at the end of the tunnel now, but anyone who's suffering with depression, mental health, you're a lot stronger than you think, and your time will come when you're ready to talk. But until you're ready to talk, unfortunately, you've just got to take the journey as it comes and deal with it the best way you know possible, and become a little bit selfish for yourself, because if you can't love yourself, you can't really love anybody else, can you? But thanks for listening to the poem, and I really hope it's there with people, because I think the more we talk about these things, the more they get dealt with. For example, you're talking about stabbings a lot recently, and now we're talking about it, something's being done. It's a bit hard to talk about mental health when it's invisible, so if the people that can suffer with it can come forward, then hopefully we can be accepted in society. After all, after time we suffer with these illnesses, it's not because of what we've caused, but down to others whether that be drug dealers giving you drugs, someone abusing you, someone hitting you verbally or mentally. But yeah, just hope it sets home, and writing's a good thing for me. It's very therapeutic. It can be soul destroying at times, but it can also be very rewarding and therapeutic at the same time, because you get to learn a lot about yourself which you don't see when you're in that negative mindset, suffering with mental health. So, but yeah, thank you very much for listening.
Hi everyone, I'm Carleigh. I'm an actor and a director and a writer, and I am the artistic director and co-founder of Naked Frank Theatre. And I'm going to leave that there because you can ask some questions or come and chat to me afterwards, but I want you guys to be able to talk and these guys to be able to talk. So that's all I'm going to say for now on who I am.
Hello, I'm Claire Portelli. Again, I'm a director, singer, and an actor. And I specialise in physical theatre. Seeing as we're at a mental health event, to disclose, I have PTSD. So if there's anyone in the room suffering with PTSD or anything, wants to chat, I'm happy for you to come chat to me about anything you want, any memory, any experience, whatever you want, whether you're going through a hard time, whether you're kind of out the other side and you're in a different place and whatever that is, come chat. Cool.
Hello, I'm Beyonce. No, I'm not. It feels like a pop star with this mic. No, I'm Jo or Joanne. I wrote Desirable and the poem 3. I guess those pieces are a mix of some of my own experiences and hearing other people's experiences, things that I've read or things that interest me. I like to kind of mix it all up and perhaps put a bit of an objective spin on things and try and be creative with it. I don't know. Oh no, wait, how did I start all that? Okay, I entered a short story competition a while ago, and it had to revolve around the city, like London. So I wrote a piece for that called Flat, which had to be under 500 words. And then I really enjoyed that, and that got shortlisted for something. And I started writing a collection of pieces that all sort of revolved around UK housing crisis. But that really links up, I think, with mental health and, again, some of my own experiences and other people's experiences. So I sort of turned that into a collection, and Desirable is one of those pieces. I think perhaps the bravest piece of the collection of work that I did for that. And 3 is also, I wrote a couple of poems that go in with there. But I'm really interested in the now and looking at that, and I hope those 2 pieces explore some of that. So, yeah.
So we're going to open this up to you guys. Does anyone have a question, something they want to ask? It could be about the show, about the writing, about experiences. It could be anything you want. Some things, obviously, we're not experts. So if we can't answer, we'll just be honest and say, I can't answer that. But there's no silly question. Does anyone have anything they want to ask? Any questions? Yeah.
Hi. Just want to say it was an amazing piece of theatre. Like, I think that is so important, and thank you to all the stories that were shared today, because I think it's so important that they are talked about, and theatre is a great way for them to be expressed. With the movement that I was really interested in, how was it that you formed this movement from the words? Like, what was sort of your process behind using these poems to create that movement and move with that movement? Because there was a lot of different styles that you used, and the tones were very different between the poems. So with the best how you could explain it, how was your process?
The Dark Warrior, initially there was an image of kind of really playing out what was in the poem. And then it didn't feel like it sort of did the words justice, and it felt like, why am I trying to show that? The words are saying enough. But we felt like there was a nice link between Nightlight and the Dark Warrior, in the sense of this kind of childhood fairy tale lifestyle of a 6-year-old to then it become quite a dark story. So that really, the first basis with that and that choreography was about what is the visual imagery in the story. The knees, the idea of the knees being scraped and scratched, the running. So things like that, we try to hone in on certain images, because I think when you have flashbacks maybe, or even if you just think about a memory in your life, it doesn't come to you as a solid memory. You just get snippets of moments. Something seems to stand out in a much stronger detail than something else. So for those pieces, it was about finding the imagery, finding for Nightlight the sleepiness of two people. I won't talk about spirals because you did that. Buzzing is about obviously insects in some way, shape or form. There's no choreography. It's completely improvised. I just make it up as I go along. The fly, it's the only one. Everything else is choreographed. But buzzing talks about no plan, no patience. The fly has no plan, no patience. So I have no plan. So I don't know. I just listen in that one and hope that I don't fall on my face. Do you want to talk about spirals?
Well, I'll just say, as well as obviously drawing from the content in the poems and looking at memories and things like that, we're drawing from our skills base. So our background, mine is in dance, like commercial dance and like the dance college kind of world, a musical theatre, and then I trained as an actor. So you're drawing on all of those kind of experimenting on crazy stuff like Laban and, contact improv, and I'm into vocal experimentation and jazz, opera, loads of different things, and to pull from styles of theatre and styles of things like techniques for an actor. Really, it was about looking at the pieces and going, okay, what style is going to link and give the piece justice? So one of the only styles that we were like, okay, again, it's the Dark Warrior. We were like, okay, how can we use the choreography? And what particular style? So we drew from, the old contemporary theatre style of movement, and looking at weighted movement and quality of touch inside of that is really important between two actors and their relationship. When we did Sweet Deeds of Love, looking at, okay, we're talking about suicide. In that piece, what style of theatre is one of the only styles, perhaps, is going to really do that justice? Opera, because you're drawing from your heart and you're drawing from your soul, and it just comes out of you. Like trauma, we chose Greek theatre. That was the one with the alcoholic tears, burning diary pages. So it's yeah. She doesn't like red. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Hi, I'd just like to say congratulations to Carleigh and Claire and everybody for such a sensitive and obviously very patient lot of work to share people's experiences with us. And I particularly liked how you use things verbatim without interpreting. I'm from Survivors Poetry, seeing as we're all kind of bearing our diagnoses after a trauma. As a teenager, I've been variously diagnosed with bipolar and schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder and all the rest. And I just wanted to ask Stevie, particularly related to what you were saying. I'll just have to plug Survivors Poetry. We're at the Poetry Cafe on the second Thursday of every month. So please come along. That's where Angie, another of your writers, saw you and contacted you. I just wanted to ask Stevie, you said at a certain point you felt ready to talk. Did that happen in writing itself, and do you now write sort of on a regular kind of basis?
I come out with mine about 3 years ago because I just couldn't do it no more. I just couldn't hold in the secrets and the hiding and not knowing who it was that pretty much destroyed my life for 35 years. But what I started to do was I decided that I was going to write a book. And I started the book, but I wasn't ready in a sense because I was still really emotional and I was still having to deal with a lot of trauma classes to get myself where I needed to be. And one day I just started writing poems. I just literally woke up one morning and I've written about 30 in a year. And just whenever I feel it, and it can be from a mood, it can be from an experience, it can be from something that happened in the back garden that I looked at. And I just think that if you're writing something down, you're sort of not putting it to bed, because with trauma like that, you never really sort of get rid of. But when you're writing it down and you're reading them words and you actually realise that it's you, the person that's going through it, and that you're a lot stronger than what you think you are, then why would you stop writing? I'm never going to stop.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to
I
write
hope
another book, and I'm going to write poems, and I'm going to write them on depression, which there's some up here on depression, mental health, self-harm, all them dark places that nobody's willing to talk about. If you can put it into a poem and make it sound that little bit nicer, then the audiences will hopefully get bigger and society will be less ignorant towards mental health.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that we've run out of time already. How do we run out of time so quick? So that doesn't mean that we are going to end the questions. If there are things that you want to come and ask, please, we're going to be down here with you guys. So please come up, ask questions. If there's things you want to ask us, ask these guys, if that's all right by you guys. And this now is just about you really exploring the work that's on offer. Something that I think is really important that I want to kind of put in the room that I think is echoing what these guys have written and what we're trying to achieve, is that we just ignore mental health. We just ignore it. And there's a lot of phrases that we use: suck it up, man up, get over it, move on. If I broke my leg, you can't suck it up. I wouldn't be able to run. Yeah. I can't run on my leg, so it's broken. So if you are feeling like your mind is broken, then that's something that we should be able to talk about. If my arm or leg was in a cast, someone would ask, what's wrong? What have you done? And celebrate it. There you go. I'll try. I'll try. So I just want it to be something that is really put out there for everyone to, let's start talking. What's the big deal? Let's talk about it. Let's laugh. Why can't we laugh about it? Let's laugh about it. If I fell off a wall and broke my arm, you'd laugh about that. Let's laugh about it. Let's laugh about the things we should be laughing about. And that doesn't mean we're undermining things. It means we're using our life experiences and the thing that we've been gifted with, language, to talk. And this is the forum now to do that.
I want to say that was exactly what I say. If you had a broken leg, and I work with children, I meet children that don't understand what is going on and they've been diagnosed, right? And I always tell them exactly what you just said there, Carleigh. But what I want to say is, I feel it is spot on, and I feel like there needs to be an overall change in attitude here. If we did something like, if we fainted and fell down some stairs, everybody would be running round. If you suddenly can't breathe and you can't explain what's going on and you begin behaving strangely, all they see is someone behaving strangely, and it's looked at, the problem is, as a character flaw, I feel, in my experience. And people need to remember it is not a character flaw. It's not something that is wrong with you as a person. It is an illness. The way flu is an illness. You wouldn't say I had somebody say to me once, and I won't name names, I had someone say to me once in a work setting, they were a manager, I know mental health and promoting it is your thing, but I'd be careful how much you share and who you share it with, because some people might not understand. Now, can I just say to you, can you imagine replacing mental health with something like, oh, I know dyslexia is your thing, but can you make sure you don't jumble your words up in front of people because they might not feel safe? You know. And God forbid, I know cancer is your thing, but you wouldn't dare. You would not dare. They wouldn't. right? We need to start thinking of this as what it is. And that's all I have to say. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for helping that happen. All right.